Get ready for hot takes and insight from local industry experts in real estate, business, and lifestyle. He used to play ball with the Padres. He played hockey for the Lobos. Now they're crushing it in the real estate game. Together, they'll showcase the best of the Duke City. This is All About You, ABQ.
Oh, that's right. It is all about YouABQ. Now, the goal of the show is to highlight the best of our city's industry experts in real estate, culture, and lifestyle so that you walk away with some value and feeling inspired. Now, the way we like to do that is to answer the questions you may have or interview the guests you want to see. So we invite you to join the conversation. You can reach out on our social media tag up here or join our email list to get some timely tips about our community and real estate market. Hey, I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, owner of Vision Mortgage.
You probably recognize Grant as the head coach of the University of New Mexico men's Lobo hockey team, but now he's absolutely crushing it in the mortgage space.
And you've seen Skip on HDTV's House Hunters and part of the top 2% producing real estate agents in the city.
Here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. We're joined by Bill Keleher of Smidt, Reist, and Keleher Lawyers. We're going to talk about something really cool that's going to take over downtown. We're pushing hard for what's called a business improvement district. Now, working in real estate, you know of a public improvement district. And so whenever a home buyer goes to buy new construction, it's usually in a public improvement district. And
that pay for the infrastructure?
Correct. Yeah. So the best neighborhoods are all in PIDs. You got new parks, new roads, new lights, all the best infrastructure for neighborhoods.
But there's no free lunch.
No free lunch. As a homeowner, you do have to pay for that. But did you know we're talking about bringing on a business improvement district here in downtown so that property owners downtown can benefit from new street lights, security, new venues, all kinds of things. So we're going to talk about how to get that up and running.
Well, I mean, we like that. And we're big believers in downtown. And we were talking before the show started about how you'd never want to desert your downtown. Like, you don't go, oh, we don't go down there. Like, that's the heartbeat of your city. And that's something that you shouldn't just cast away and regard as a place that you would never step foot in.
Yeah, correct, man. And so either way, I'm excited to learn more about it and get the word out that there is change possible here for downtown Albuquerque, considering we spend so much time down here, for sure. But what's new with you, man? What have you been up to?
Well, I still haven't got my new glasses yet, so I'm looking at these Walgreens specials that I didn't even know help. But glasses are on the way. I'm getting them after the show. But yeah, the Ted Bundy jokes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, have you murdered anybody today on the way to the studio?
None of your business.
Yeah, why don't you just watch Netflix? You'll find out.
What did you do? I mean, you're a family guy. You had a Thanksgiving.
Yeah, obviously Thanksgiving, but no, it's that time of year as we get past Thanksgiving into the winter season. Everybody's favorite, what's his name? Krusty the Clown Snowman. Albuquerque is known for one thing, and that is tumbleweeds. Oh, can we agree? You live on the west side of town, and there are tumbleweeds everywhere. Love to set that thing on fire.
Why?
Because have you ever lit tumbleweeds on fire? Dude, in my old house.
Yeah, and about 92 of them.
Remember how many tumbleweeds I had in my old house on the west side? And I was like, maybe we should just burn them, and dude, if you burn them, they explode into embers.
They do. I actually lit a lot of things on fire when I was a kid, and they do that, just like pine needles do. But it would have been so awesome if you did it in your backyard. I'm like, Happy New Year. You don't have problems lighting things in my backyard on fire.
Hey, you have insurance. But yeah, so it's time for the tumbleweed snowman to come out. That's how you know we're officially kicking off winter season. And
I think it's so much hate. People are like, I hate that thing. I'm like, who gets a tumbleweed? I hate a tumbleweed. I hate that thing. Take it down. I'm like, so
yeah.
What?
Krusty the Clown or whatever his name is. I don't even know.
It's not called Krusty the Clown.
What's his name then? Stumpy the Stumbleweed? No, big news on the west side of town. We talked about this previously. There's a new development that's been in the talks. So the Glyphs at Volcano Mesa, this is kind of a new retail hub near the Petroglyph National Monument. So it's a 65,000 square foot Glyphs at the Volcano Mesa project on the southwest corner of Paseo and Kimmick. It's west of Golf Course. So it's kind of up in your neighborhood. But the project was anticipated to break ground in 2025.
I can't picture where this is.
It's just up the hill. It's right on the other side of that Smith's, just up the hill. But I think this brings a cool look to the west side and more things to do. Obviously more traffic, so all the homeowners are pushing back. And again, the Homeowners Association, the Coalition of Neighborhood Associations, filed a suit against the city to block the development because the project will supposedly encroach on the petroglyph monument. And I think it's just a way to stall to hopefully we get more roads and infrastructure built to handle the traffic.
So if you go, I'm trying to
go up the hill,
go up like Homestead or whatever, and then where the Garcias is and the gas station.
No. Go up Paseo, up over the Smiths.
Okay.
And it's right there. The first light is Kimmick. Kimmick has been a fake stoplight for about 5 years now. They've been threatening to turn it on. They never have though. But there's all new development up there, and that's where it's supposed to be located, which I think is a kick-ass spot. But if you've ever been up Paseo is just kind of like it's just a temporary road right now. It just like kind of winds through the volcano rock and.
Yeah, it'd be great for us to have something like this. Who's opposed to this? Who hates this? Everyone?
Well, again, so I guess the city council voted to approve the plans, which actually took over a portion of, I guess, Petroglyph National Monument, and so...
Which is huge, by the way.
Well, yeah, and have you ever been there? No one has. You can't. It's not like there's trails or anything. It's just like fenced off. It's just like, here's open space in the middle of town.
3 rabbits and
yeah, nobody can use it. But either way, I like the look of that, and I think it brings a cool change to our city. So hopefully they can get past the stumbling block. I think with any new development, too, there's so many naysayers.
Who can, so what's the process? And maybe someone else can fill me in on this. What could actually stop it versus other people that go, I want to do it?
What do you mean, as far as outside forces?
Yeah.
Like this coalition of homeowners associations just filed a suit. It's just like, yeah, we're going to hit the pause on this. Let's find a way to delay it.
How long can you do that for?
Well, they've already lost their anchor tenant because the anchor tenant said you have to break ground by mid-2025 in order for us to commit to coming here. And so now they've already pulled out. And so I don't know, it's a whole conundrum, but it just speaks to the fact that Albuquerque, it's so slow to change, and any new big development is always going to have hurdles.
You know what, speaking of that, did you see the hoopla about the scooters? And people are like, oh my God, they're going to throw them in the river. And I go, well, they're not your scooters. So if they get thrown in the river, why do you care?
You know, it's so funny. We were so late to adopt any of the scooters or community bikes or anything downtown.
Or Uber or Lyft. We don't want to do it. Why? Because we never have had it. Okay, that's it. Yeah. Let's go in a taxi with a guy that will charge you $48 and then show up 35 minutes later. Yeah. I love scooters, and I actually use them in big cities. And I went to Washington, D.C. on a scooter as a transportation, and I saw so much.
Oh yeah.
I saw all the museums, and it probably cost me $11.
Yeah, it's great. And you just drop it, and then it's waiting for you when you.
And no one's all, they're going to throw them in the ocean over there. You know, it's we have such a defiant, like, it'll never work. So I'm the guy on Facebook that's having arguments with people, and I'm like, I like scooters, and they are going to work. And if you don't want to be on the scooter, no one's going to make you
suck my. Yeah, dude. It sounds like you're pretty passionate about scooters. Anything else you feel like you want to rant about?
Yeah, you know what? I have to be honest, audience. Go ahead, cue it up. I get kind of nervous about making a funny Grant's rants, right? Because, Albuquerque is just really pressuring me to keep coming up with these comedic bits. But I'm going to tell you something that everyone can relate to. And it's the fact that I can't even get into my own accounts, social media, banking, my mortgage stuff. My stuff is so safe that even I can't get into it. So here's an example. Today I tried to get into my banking, and they go, childhood best friend. Nope, that's not your childhood best friend. Who was then? Like, did he steal from me when I was younger, and you secretly know that actually he wasn't a good friend? What's your favorite food? I like pizza fried rice. No, I don't. What was your favorite, who was your first pet? I guess I don't know the answer to that either. I guess I was raised by wolves. I don't know what street I ever lived on. All 5 security questions didn't work. And so then you go, okay, I'll create a new password. Oh, you used that one in 2007. I'm like, oh, dude. And then they'll recommend, don't you want to use ZRW12 exclamation mark X, like Enye J? I'm like, no, I don't want to, because I'm not a robot and I'll never remember that password. I am so sick of not being able to get in my accounts, and that's my Grant rant. It's not a real cigarette, everyone.
It is real, dude.
It's not.
Yeah, it's a real.
I want to bring it one time.
It's a real zin. Hey, so check this out. To speak to that, how annoying is passwords? Because my parents are at that age where they go, I don't know what my freaking password is. Can you help me? And I go, dude, I don't know what my own shit is. I got locked out of my iTunes account.
Your dad, it's so funny because my dad does. He asked me what his password is, and I'm like, how in the world would I know what your password is?
Yeah.
Write it down on that Post-it. I don't know where I put it. All right.
Well, who was your childhood best friend?
How many times do you have to change your password with your real estate setup?
Oh, dude, I give it one try, and if it doesn't work, then I don't use that system anymore.
You just quit.
And I go, you're going to have to manually deliver me the
profession?
documents. Yeah.
You just stop being a real estate agent? All right, I'm not doing this, I'm out.
Yeah, it's like, why is it so difficult?
But how did we become, at this point, we thought our parents didn't know anything about technology, but then I'm slowly going, I don't want to fucking do this now. I mean, just throw it all out like, no, I guess I don't need it that bad.
Time to oil up the old typewriter. We're going back to that.
Why don't you fax me if you have something important to tell me?
Yeah, you can hand deliver that shit. Coming up next, here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. We're joined by Bill Keleher. We're going to talk about downtown improvement districts, and then stay tuned to the end of the show. It's everybody's favorite, Skip's Tips.
You should do a Skip's Tips about passwords.
Is all about YouABQ. Welcome back to YouABQ. I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, home loan expert.
And we're joined in studio by Bill Keleher, the Southwest super lawyer. We're going to be discussing all things about downtown and kind of getting your take on what the hell is a business improvement district. But Bill, welcome to the show, man.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here, and I'm excited to talk about business improvement district for downtown Albuquerque.
Well, Albuquerque I'm always passionate about Albuquerque, nostalgic for it, born and raised here. You were too.
Yep.
St. Pius kid.
That's right. Yep.
So let's see, what year did you graduate St. Pius?
81. I was in the St. Pius when it was at Indian School in Louisiana there, where ABQ Uptown is.
Oh, interesting.
Our campus was there, and I don't know, they moved it a few years after that to the west side. But yeah, I'm old school St. Pius.
I love that. So you got some deep roots here in Albuquerque, but you had a chance to move away for college, went to Georgetown. So you got to see bigger cities, different styles of, living architecture, cityscapes. What the hell brought you back to Albuquerque?
Really work. And, I wanted to be a lawyer. After 7 years in D.C., I mean, it's a tough, it's a different environment. It's so busy. The parking's a struggle sometimes, and it's expensive. And so I was ready to come back. I had a summer job, and I met my wife, and she was here, and so I wanted to.
Yeah, smart.
You gotta actually go where your wife is.
Oh yeah, I followed Tail to some wild places too.
Yeah, and this is why I just single still, because they keep going off, and I go, oh, let's stay over here in Taylor Ranch. Was Patrick Ewing playing at the
Yes. The years I was there,
Yeah, nice pull.
Yeah, no, that's very good. All of my years he was there, and the money that average money that the fine arts majors made that year when he graduated was really a good stat.
Yeah. What a legacy. And then you had someone else there that was like big time. Hold on, we'll come up with it.
We'll move forward here. But so Albuquerque's kind of been slow to grow and adapt, and I think with much like any downtown, there's some renaissance that go on. So breathe some life into it. You used to work downtown, right? Bartending, bouncing. You were a big bounce guy.
I didn't even make enough money to justify the job. The reduced version is getting $8 to go. Maybe get a Heineken on the side of your head. Yeah.
But the downtown Albuquerque recently it's kind of had a bad rap. It's fallen, I think, and a lot of downtowns too after COVID have kind of been taken over by the Walking Dead. But as a property owner downtown, I mean, what are your thoughts on what are we missing compared to other cities?
Well, we're missing the vibrancy that comes from a variety of businesses and a density of people coming down. And it's kind of a chicken and the egg thing, Are you going to put in a big development? And
why would they come?
Just hope that they come. And personally, I'm not in a position to do that. You see, the great commitment to downtown that Ex Novo was made, and the Silvermans in developing that space for Ex Novo. That's great. And you see, people are coming. People will come. You come on a Friday night, for instance, the last Friday the art or the first Friday the art walk evening. There are people that want to be downtown, but there's just not a sufficient density of things to do. And the downtowns that are vibrant, your Colorado Springs started with kind of a small bid, and it grew. And there's a lot of nice shops to go. You can go grab a cup of coffee. You can go to the bookstore. You can go to a bar. You can go to a restaurant.
Lodo's. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, hockey perennial favorite.
Okay, so a couple of things, right? We've been to other cities, Phoenix, and when I was talking to Danielle Casey, who's part of the Albuquerque Regional Economic Alliance, I can never get it right, but she put forth the idea of creating what's called a business improvement district.
Right.
And on the surface level, you go, well, that sounds great, but what more money in downtown? Well, how does it work? What is it? Who's paid for it? And where have we seen other cities where it's actually worked?
So what it is basically, it's a chance. There's a statute that allows you to create a business improvement district, and it's a chance for the property owners in a given area. Pick your little footprint or your big footprint, whatever your footprint for a given area, and ask the property owners, what do you want to do? What do you think you need as a property owner downtown? Is it cleaner streets? Is it better security? Is it advocacy with the city as one voice? Is it
police presence, right?
Police presence? Is it promotion? What is it? What is it that you, the owners, want to do? And so you find that out, and you say, and then you find out, all right, we've got your wish list. How much is that going to cost? What are you willing to pay for? Because this is a chance. The owners self-assess. Once they've decided what they want to do, they self-assess, and you need to pull in the other players. There's about 40% of the footprint downtown is city and state, county, government offices. So those people, those entities need to play just like the commercial property owners, because it's up to the commercial property owners to form this thing, but you're going to need help from, just like any other property owner, from the city and the county and state.
Talk to me a little bit about the footprint of what commercial business owner, what commercial building owners, where does the footprint lie? Where are the estimated boundaries you're looking at? The
estimated, for discussion purposes, would be Cole to Lomas, 8th Street to the tracks.
Okay, and that's a big footprint.
It's a big footprint, and I think it'll come in, because there are areas in there, for instance, that have maybe some federal government offices that they might not want to participate. And so
sure, when they got to pay the extra.
But why wouldn't they, as an entity that's not really like owned by an individual, or like something so like sovereign by a guy that's like, I'm not writing a check for that? Why wouldn't they
lead the charge and be like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it.
You'd think they might, but. I think the city will go along. I think the county the city is supportive of this, and I think the county will be supportive of it. I just don't know the feds. They're a long way from here, headquarters and decision makers.
It kind of makes me angry a little bit in the fact that there's so much resistance to doing things that would progress the city. I do like the fact that the constituents get a say in it, right? It's different when the city, you get other people going, we're not paying for that, but you have people that are there going, I guess it's got to come out of mine.
It is up to the property owners, and another thing is we're not looking to take things over from the city. Any good business improvement district will include a base services agreement with in this case, it would be the city saying, here's what you're spending now. You're going to keep doing that, right? We're paying our taxes, and city, you are doing this for it, this level. And it makes sense to the property owners maybe to do a little more. And that's what we're covering. We're doing a little more to make it substantially better.
So let me ask you this. Putting together a business improvement district sounds like a lot of work. And you're spearheading this? Do you have a team in place? Do you have?
Yeah, spearheading is a strong term. I am really area Danielle Casey's organization, started doing education over a year ago, where she brought in an outside consultant who is an expert in bids to explain to people, property owners, what is a bid, what can it do for you, how might it work, how would it be formed. And then my role has just been, I met Danielle and I thought, well, this is something I can do, because I could complain.
Yeah, that's usually
I'm old enough to have complained. I know how to do that, but I thought, maybe I can herd this along, and so that's what I'm doing. The first one of the first calls I made, I call up Guy Jonah from the Arrive Hotel, which is another great thing right next to, that's substantial investment in downtown Albuquerque. And I called them up. I said, here's who I am. I'm thinking about seeing if property owners are interested in a bid. And he said, well, my investor's in town. Let's have coffee tomorrow.
Oh, that's great.
And it was like right away. And then, you call some of the Garcias own a lot of property. And they're in. The Silvermans, they develop a lot of property. They're in. The smaller outfits, they want to talk about it.
So how does it work? Is it based on per square footage of your building, or the tax value of your property?
So, the voting, 51% of the real property owners. So
have to sign the petition.
They sign the petition. What the real property owners need to decide is a rational method of assessing where the benefit to that property corresponds very closely to what it's costing them.
So if he's all the way out on the corner of Lomas,
and I'm not paying for that.
Yeah, exactly.
And he owns a parking lot.
That is a legitimate thing. If you're not close to where the benefit is being provided, then it should be a little different assessment, I think. And I'm not deciding this stuff. This is just what I think.
Common sense.
Common sense. If you have in the last bid did not work. And one of the reasons I think is it was a straight up assessment of property value. So if, for instance, you have a very tall building with a limited linear feet on the street, you're getting assessed a whole lot to have somebody. Part of the things they're doing is cleaning that sidewalk.
You got one storefront on the bottom.
Yeah. That's not fair. Now, while you're, the people on that are don't have a whole lot of storefront, but they shouldn't be charging a big bundle either. So it's not rocket science.
How do you create that coefficient then? You know what I mean? Like who?
Experts.
Yeah, bring in someone from out of town.
All right, well then I'll jump in here. What time do you need me to come in here?
We're going to ask Grant.
Because does the city help out a little bit more? And so you go, this isn't like self-serving advocacy. It's good for us all to have this flourish.
Yes, it is. And credit the city with, and I said, how do you figure this stuff out? And experts, the city is supporting us by paying for some
internal numbers to be run.
Well, what they're paying for is outside consultants.
Sure.
And the outside consultants are working with the property owners.
Right.
And so I was dreading having to pass the hat around the property owners to say, let's hire somebody from out of town to do this, and the city's just taking care of it. They're picking up that tab.
Pretty cool.
Awesome.
And that, thank you, city. And so they're working on that, and they've done this hundreds of times all over the United States. So they have different
I would imagine there's some formulas and going, okay, here's, and you guys look like, maybe you look like a Tucson. Yeah. And maybe this is what we did over there, and then they can fine tune it. But no one has to go. Gosh, these equations have to come up with by Thursday,
ChatGPT. So let me ask you this: so what are some of the other cities that have incorporated a business improvement district?
So Tucson's one that's been mentioned. Boise has a business improvement district. Colorado Springs. And actually, there's somebody from MRA who's telling me Lubbock. I haven't been to Lubbock in a long time. She's saying Lubbock's coming on. I'm like, well, let's go see.
That place on fire.
So those things, This is not going to play well in Lubbock, all right?
How could you ever go in there and get enthused about it?
We had a big following in Lubbock.
Yeah.
So don't worry.
Actually, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry, Lubbock.
So let me ask you this. So how is the fee collected or assessed? Just through property taxes?
Yeah. That if properly done, it becomes part of the property taxes. And and I wanted to mention on the intro, you had mentioned that here's what a bid can do for you. Really, the kinds of things that a bid can do are safety, or call it security, cleanliness, advocacy, beautification. Public relations, those kind of things. The hard things like street lights, which, my goodness, the street lamps are out downtown. Drive around. I mean, there are a lot of them that are just out.
1951, the bulb finally went out.
You guys have been peeing on them for the last 20 years.
Yeah, it's crazy, but and they get those. That has to be fixed. But that is, that's something the city should be doing that, and I'm sure is working on it. That's
Really?
But for capital improvements for a specific area, that's the tax increment financing, which you're hearing about, and that is a whole thing that the city does need to work on. This is the property owners, and I would call the bid sort of the property management organization. We're going to take care of this asset, which is downtown, and that heartbeat Grant mentioned, it's the heartbeat of a town, and Albuquerque is an economic center of New Mexico, and we need to be good.
Well, I like that you referred to downtown as an asset, right? And having somebody come in and manage this like it is an asset to put some, spit shine this thing, and let's get this thing going in the right direction.
Yeah. It's the people try, but the piecemeal thing is very difficult. So we need an organization, an organized, focused effort to make it better.
And I think some transparency helps out a lot when you go, here's our plan, not this devising, okay, here's what we're going to try to do, don't tell anybody. Like, it would be nice for the public to know what's happening and what's going on.
Absolutely, and they can reach out to me. We should put the email address across the bottom here. And
Absolutely.
We're going to be on CNN probably by next year, so we'll put the word out.
But Bill, let me ask you this. So where is your biggest pain point right now as far as connecting business owners, getting the info out? I mean, what is your biggest pain point for getting this thing to the next step?
Actually, right now, we had the consultants came in and met with the property owners, and we had a great session where they heard from many property owners.
Do you think that at least 51% of the property owners even showed up to the meeting?
No, because 51% of the property owners didn't know about it.
Okay.
We did it like, me and my other promoters of this thing call people, and we tried to have, skeptics. We invited
both sides of the aisle.
Skeptics. We people that have been downtown since it was a vibrant and movies were a quarter. I mean, we had those people here, and they still own property here, and they want it to be better. But so those people, we had owner operators, bar owners, people from the schools, a lot of people to give that perspective. And then with that, the next thing to do is to really figure out what they want. What does that mean? What could we do? And kind of have a little draft to show to the property owners about, this is what we're thinking. What do you think? And we're forming a larger working group to work with the consultants. So if people want to get on that working group, you'll probably hear from me anyway, but if you want to reach out.
What's going to be your plan? How are you going to get the biggest reach? Like, what's going to be the way that you put it out there and saying, here's what we're up to, every single one of you? How are you going to?
That's a good question. That's
besides this show, which reaches everybody
right here, right? With word of mouth, I think is what we're doing. The public. Maybe a large just let's get together and have a meeting. We've had a couple of those where I just piggybacked on with the Metropolitan Redevelopment Agency sends out emails for their sessions, and I piggybacked on a couple of those and had events and invited people, and
Good. So
we
the biggest pain point sounds like is staying relevant in front of the property owners. Like, oh, don't forget, we're still working on this issue downtown.
Yeah, that's probably right, because I don't want to go away and definitely don't want to go away and then surprise, here's the plan.
Here's what we agreed to, right?
Yeah, because then actually as we get a draft of the plan done, then you're out there looking for commitments, and we, kudos to so many property owners. We have a petition without the input from the consultants that we had been working with, and people were willing to say, yeah, let's give it a go. Let's try.
That's great.
So I think we'll get the support. The mapping is something to really figure out what is our footprint.
Yeah.
That's
as I hear you, I feel like some people are going to figure out what they define as what's necessary to to put money in a lot or like a portion of, like, they'll go, well, that area's trash. Like, we're not paying for that. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah. Well, you can, but you can. I mean, it has to be a rational basis. Like, one of the other things is single-family residential. They don't pay in and they don't vote on what you're doing. I mean, because this is for business. Commercial properties. So you can, if you look at the area I described, most of that is commercial. There's some little pockets of residential that.
It would be kind of cool if you could, even after the show, we could follow up, and it would be cool to like show, like, this would be the pocket he's talking
we'll show
about.
on a map where it is.
Yeah, that would, and
then we'll come in and decide what the actual parameters
I'd
are.
appreciate that.
As the expert.
Right. Yes.
Bill, we'll have links to your LinkedIn as well, and so people can reach out to you for more information. And then again, obviously, we'll try and do a follow-up with you to see how we can help get the word out.
Thank you.
And
We
stay
love
relevant.
yes dudes. I mean, this is our whole mantra is so sick of people going, no, that'll never work. Like, get out of here. We want we love yes guys.
I hear you.
It's
We
our
got to do it. There's no sense in not trying. Right?
Well, we appreciate you at least kind of semi-spearheading it and taking time, because I know.
Being the spearhead.
The spearhead.
You call it super lawyer spearhead CEO.
Bill Keleher, thank you so much for stopping by the show. We appreciate it. Coming up next, here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. It's everybody's favorite, Skip's Tips. This is all about you, ABQ.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Orioles.
Welcome back, Orioles fans. We're now in our third segment, Skip's Tips.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Skip's Tips are anything that saves us time, makes us more money, or allows us to have more fun in real estate or real life. Hey, sellers, there's 3 easy ways that you can impress buyers when they tour your home. First of all, scram! Beat it! You don't need to be present when the buyer's walking through your property. There's nothing worse than a seller that just lurks. As a buyer, you want to be able to enjoy the property and understand and kind of visualize where your furniture is going, and you can't do that if you got lurch over your shoulder. Let there be light. So many times I've showed properties and the blinds are drawn, there's no lights on, there's like a smelly litter box. Dude, turn the lights on, open up the blinds, let this thing be lit up. Buyers want to see it in its best light, and it ain't going to happen if everything is dark and dreary. And obviously, make it available. So many times sellers will be like, yeah, there's no showings during lunch or dinner, and I work from home during the week, so can you just come on like never, just see it online? No, make your property available, because that's when buyers want to see it, is when they have time. So work with buyers on their schedule. What's been your experience touring homes? Did you ever have that guy just like over your shoulders, seller? God, scram. Leave a comment in the section below. Oh, share this with a friend and tell them Skip said so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I don't like is when I'm like looking at houses and then I like go to bed for like take a nap and then the seller's like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, what are you doing here?
Where's your pants, guy? What is this, a wiener schnitzel? Worldwide on the YouTube channel and Spotify.
Wide.
Join us here on the Education channel every Wednesday and Sunday. This is all about you, ABQ.
And free medical advice.
You're watching YouABQ.